So, okay. Ja dann. Tschö. Dann mal. Aha, okay, das ist dann immer weg. Also wir können jetzt. Universität. Friedhof.
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days.
Eigentlich könnten wir doch mal sein Grab besuchen, oder?
Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum. Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then. The plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
Ui, freue mich. Ist deine Cam kaputt? Nee. Du, ich habe nicht immer meine Cam an und heute habe ich sie auslassen. Ich hatte heute keine Zeit, mich fertig zu machen. Und da wollte ich es nicht irgendwie so schnell machen. Und da habe ich gedacht, ach komm, lass es mal wieder aus. Das ist eigentlich auch ganz nett bei dem Spiel. Oder? Aber nächste Woche mache ich sie dann wieder an. Denke ich. Hey Chrissy. Aber hast du noch nie mitgekriegt, dass ich die nicht immer... ich habe die nicht immer an.
This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb. I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you. If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content.
Okay, wir sprechen mal mit dem Polizisten. Frauen.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Schönen Tag für einen Spaziergang auf dem Friedhof. Was? Ich muss in diese Grabstätte kommen. Ich gehe dann einfach mal weiter.
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
Gut, danke Chrissy und dir. Aber heute hatte meine liebe verstorbene Tante nächster Geburtstag. Okay, ich glaube, ich habe gesehen, wie im Haupteingang jemand überfallen wurde. Ich gehe dann einfach mal weiter.
But it's my dearly departed Aunt Hester's birthday today, and I always bring her flowers.
I'm sorry, sir, but I've got my orders. Come back in a few days. I can assure you, your aunt won't have gone anywhere.
Außerdem haben wir ja auch gar keine Blumen.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
Okay, und wie kommen wir jetzt da jetzt rein?
Plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
Ausgang. Ja, mir geht's gut. Nachdem ich arbeiten war, Haare geschnitten habe, für die Hochzeit am Samstag nur noch Kirmes. Mir geht's so kaputt, aber gut. Jetzt ist doch hervorragend. Herrenhaus. Guck an, hier waren wir noch
Compton
nicht.
Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Metzgerei. Boah, geil. Tür, Ausgang.
Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though. I'm glad that Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs.
Das ist ja schön. Taxi, Metzgerei. Da ist ein Restaurant. Jetzt muss man kurz... So, jetzt.
Bonbon's restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear their deviled eggs are simply to die for.
Hoffentlich nicht.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
Ich muss mit ihm über Albert Martin sprechen. Albert hat mir eine Nachricht für Sie gegeben. Entschuldigen Sie, dass ich Sie belästigt habe. Ich gehe jetzt natürlich die Nachricht.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Roch's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do. Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
Es ist echt crazy. Vorhang? Bild?
It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me. That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies.
Diese hier?
For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. The Virgin Mary. I must admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
So, jetzt möchte ich da mal kurz mal hin. Lucky, warum dazu ist?
I'm afraid that room is private, Mr. Fordham. I must respectfully ask you to not go in there.
Of course.
Ach so.
My apologies.
Okay, dann Sabine.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Hübsche Frau. Albert?
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
Madame de Pree.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupré?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupré has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
Okay, Juliette?
What do you know about Juliette, Madame Dupré's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliette sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Alberts Nachricht?
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Roch is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job.
Über sie selbst?
What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a mambo asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Voodoo?
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
Einen Tee bitten.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
Können wir dann jetzt rein? Sollen wir da jetzt mal reingucken?
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
Natürlich können wir das nicht machen.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
Aha, okay, also können wir dann da... Sollen wir nochmal probieren?
There's no way you'll be able to look behind that curtain while Mrs. Martin is in the room. You'll need to get her out somehow.
Müssen wir nochmal reden?
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Weiteren Druck auf sie ausüben, das Thema wechseln.
I had a look behind your curtain. Care to explain what all those things in that back
Oh
room
nein!
are?
Mr. Fordham, I was under the impression you could be trusted. Clearly, Albert was wrong about you.
Why are you keeping them out of view? What's their significance?
I don't like people invading my privacy, Mr. Fordham. You're no longer welcome in my home. Please leave.
Oh.
Without me, your son won't get out of jail. Nobody else thinks he's innocent. Are you really going to put your pride over your son's life?
And now you insult me? You're really something special. I won't say it again. Get out!
Oh, jetzt wurden wir rausgeschmissen.
Clearly hit a nerve there, Fordham.
Rather suspicious, if you ask me. Perhaps her and Mr. Martin's religious practices aren't as innocent as they claim to be.
An interesting notion.
Ha. Sollen wir das mal dem Sohn erzählen? Haha. Ich habe deine Mutti verärgert.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupree?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
Aha, Aufgabe
That's all
notiert.
for now.
Können wir mit dir nochmal? Nee, kann man nur sehen. Kann man nur gucken. Vielleicht kann man nochmal mit der Tochter reden. Achso, nee. Doch. Können wir. Hier. So. Ja. Universität.
She's busy. Best not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
Achso, ich dachte, ich habe schon eine Frage.